Hey, what's going on, Rockstars? Welcome back into this channel on Friday, January the 17th, 2025, of course. And Milo, our old English sheepdog, has joined us again. You guys can see from the last video he was in a couple days ago, he's even growing bigger. Somebody said I was forcing him to be in this. He cries for me to pick him up. Anyhow, today's video about red dye number 3. And what does this have to do with reselling in business? Well, it's pretty important, actually, and it is a lesson for all of us to learn. So if you didn't see, effective yesterday, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, has announced a ban on red number 3 food dye that gives that artificial red coloring to a ton of our food products. In fact, over 3,000 food products actually have red dye number 3 in them, which is pretty crazy and scary. So let me tell you the history about this, and then I'll tell you what this has to do with reselling and business in general, because it's pretty important. In fact, quite a few of you watching my channel right now are going to want to know this. So it starts off, this is from the Herald Tribune, that Valentine's Day treats might look a little different in the next couple of years as the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, that's the FDA, has banned red dye number 3 that gives it that bright cherry red color. This is removal in response to the color additive petition that was filed in 2022 by advocates who claim the red dye number 3 is linked to cancer and child behavioral problems. USA Today reported that manufacturers who use the red number 3 dye will have until 2027 or 2028 to reformulate their products. So first question right off the top, I hope all of you are asking the question, if we've deemed that this is unsafe and can cause cancer or other childhood issues or other problems in general to anyone, why are we giving them 2 to 3 years to reformulate it? Why are we telling them you have until now or next week or next month, you have 30 days to figure it out? Why give 3 more years of cancer? Please, someone answer me this question. Anyways, let's go down. The first thing they do is they start with the products that are pretty common to contain red dye number 3. Candy like Pez, assorted fruit, Brock's candy corn, and Jelly Belly. That's a pretty popular one. Valentine's Day, including their little hearts. We all know about the little hearts, right? Desserts like Entenmann's Little Bites, the party cakes, mini muffins, Betty Crocker, fruit by the foot, toasters, pastries, and cookies with red icing or decorations. Dairy like ice cream, frozen yogurt, ice pops, and fruit bars. Fruit products like maraschino cherries and fruit cocktail cups. Oh my God. Some of the stuff I have eaten for a while. Not good. Strawberry flavored milk, as well as strawberry sodas and fruit drinks. No, strawberry soda is great. Also the big one. Here we go, guys. Cough syrups, gummy vitamins, and strawberry flavored Pediasure. Hands up in the chat. I know it's a lot of you. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy about it. But those cough syrups and those gummy vitamins, a whole bunch of you guys and girls use those for your kids, for your grandkids. Holy crap, we've been feeding our kids red dye number 3 and that Robitussin, right? Who knows? Let's skip down to the important part. This one is what's going to blow your mind. So red number 3 is known as erythrosine is a color additive which was made from petroleum. Oh my God, you guys, it's perfectly fine for your kids to take cough syrup made from petroleum that gives food its drink its bright red color. It was previously banned from U.S. cosmetics in 1990 due to the evidence that the dye caused cancer in high doses in lab rats. Some 35 years ago, we banned red dye number 3 and everything except our food that goes directly into our body. Skin is bad enough. You put makeup on your face and it gets into your skin, girls. But our food goes right into our body. But it's cool for another 35 years. Just because we figured out it gets into your skin doesn't mean it's going to hurt you from the inside. Who are these people that we put in charge of stuff? While food dyes have existed for centuries, the first synthetic food dye was invented in 1856 by chemist William Henry Perkin. These additives were produced by the byproducts of coal processing, as if it's not bad enough. The FDA writes that by 1900, many food, drugs, and cosmetics available in the U.S. were artificially colored. However, due to its harmful ingredients, Congress passed the Food and Drug Act some 6 years later in 1906. After several children became ill from eating an orange Halloween candy containing orange number 1 in the 1950s, U.S. House Representative James Delaney began holding hearings on the possible carcinogenicity of pesticide residuals and food additives. Good on you, Representative James Delaney of 1950. In the next few years, the FDA found that several caused serious adverse effects and issued the color additive amendments of 1960 to the original act. About half of the original color additives remain today. Oh, that's cool. Some colors are okay. Not all colors, but some of them are cool. Red's cool. Then we go back to our fancy rest of our explanation here. And this is where it gets a little crazier, too. The color additive petition filed in 2022 cited 2 studies that showed cancer in male lab rats when exposed to high levels of the red number 3 dye. The FDA does note in its announcement that exposure levels to red number 3 for humans is typically much lower than those that cause the effects shown in the male rats. So we're okay. But the male rats only got a tiny bit of that red dye number 3. What did they give it to them for? A couple weeks, couple months? We've been eating it our whole lives, right? This is nonsense. And they're really little. Studies in other animals and in humans did not show these effects. Claims that the use of FD&C red number 3 in food and in ingested drugs puts people at risk are not supported by the available scientific information, the FDA writes. Red number 3 is also largely banned in the European Union, Australia, and New Zealand. So it's banned elsewhere in the world, major places in the world. And they say that it doesn't, the scientific results didn't claim the same as the rats, but we're going to ban it. If you're willing to ban it, that means you found something that wasn't good, right? Manufacturers who use the red dye number 3 will have until January the 15th, that's 1 month from now, 2027, that's to the day this month in 2 years, to change their products according to Wednesday's FDA announcement, while those who use the dye in drugs will have until January the 18th of 2028. So food by 2 years from now, drugs by 3 years from now. What does this have to do with reselling, Casey, or the business? Well, first of all, that's not all I do on this channel. It's most of it. But second of all, I've got quite a few of you fancy sellers out there who are in the food and grocery department on Amazon and eBay. You sell things like Tic Tacs, which also appeared on one of these lists, and candies and other things. Please make sure you know that you will not be allowed to sell any of those food or drug products leading up to that ban. You've got time, I imagine, right now, this year and next year will be fine. Also know that there was talks that they're going to start suing some of the manufacturers. You as a seller should not be responsible for selling red fruit by the foot in a box on Amazon. They're going to go after some of these companies that said they should have known better than to use red dye number 3. And in fact, there's been people that have cancer that are citing themselves as case research. So we'll wait and see. With that said, seller responsibility should be very, very limited in this case, especially since it's still at the time of selling. He doesn't want down. See, at the time of this video and at the time of your selling it, it was perfectly legal and perfectly okay. So with that said, I would not worry about if you have inventory. Try to get rid of it. Now, some of you on a moral stand ground are going to say, I'm not going to sell something that could potentially be harmful. And that's a great point, and I wouldn't argue with you on that. I wouldn't treat you any differently or look down on you because you decided to chuck a bunch of inventory because you thought that it could be bad. My other question to this, on the business side to this and the reselling side to this, is once this is banned in these products, is eBay or Amazon going to have a way to flag it so that the current version is what's good with the non-red dye number 3? Or are you going to have to check a box or show a picture showing that it is red dye number 3 free? So that's another question I have for them. We'll have to wait and see 2 to 3 years from now. I just thought this was a crazy story. So many people sent it to me and people thought, how does this happen? How do we have a ban on a lot of flavor additives and color additives for over 100 years, all the way back to the 1906, all the way even back to the 50s where we just talked about, which is some 75 years ago. And we banned this stuff 35 years ago in cosmetics, but it was still allowed all these years. If anybody in the comment section can leave me an absolutely reasonable explanation for this, I am all ears. In the meantime, That's the story. Red dye number 3 going away. There's a full list. I'll link the story below. Full list of products that you can see that contain this. If you're worried about stopping eating it or consuming it, which it scares me, and I may stop eating and consuming quite a few of these. I'm sure I don't consume a lot of them, but there's quite a few. Strawberry soda is one of my faves. I love strawberry soda, and I don't drink soda. Anybody that knows me knows I don't drink soda. I very rarely try to drink soda, if at all, ever, once or twice a month at most. But I do love strawberry soda. If I'm going to have one, I usually will have strawberry soda. Or orange soda flavored. So maybe I'll be cutting that out. No go on the Fanta. Yikes. Red dye number 3 banned. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for watching. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out the links below. There's some amazing, incredible links and sponsors. Mark II, Not Your Dad's CPA, doing a tax event for resellers free January 21st. That's next week. Free virtual event. Make sure you register and chime in for that event so you can learn everything you need to know about reselling and business taxes. He'll do it for free for you, and he'll offer you his services afterwards. So tell him that Rockstarflipper sent you. And as always, enjoy your weekend, everybody. I'll see you next time.